Hey, 01, back at it. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Flagstaff extending and increasing the corporate limits of the City of Flagstaff pursuant to the provisions of Title IX, Chapter 4, the Arizona Revised Statutes, by annexing approximately 10.05 acres of land located at 7,000 North Highway 89, which certain land is contiguous to the existing corporate limits of the City of Flagstaff, and establishing city zoning for said land as highway commercial with a resource protection overlay, providing for severability, authority for clerical corrections, and establishing an effective date. All right,
Okay.
Ms. Fairtree.
Yeah, Genevieve, Pair 3, Senior Planner in the current planning section, so I'm here to present this request. And the applicant is on Teams as well, so they're also here. All right, so just a bit of an overview. Again, this is a request to annex 10.05 acres. It's just one parcel. It's located at 7,000 North Highway 89. If approved, the zoning after annexation would be highway commercial with a resource protection overlay. The current zoning is Coconino County, commercial heavy 10,000.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize. We're both consulting here.
Did I not formally open the public
We
hearing?
needed to open the
Oh.
public hearing, correct.
Yeah, okay. The public
Sorry,
hearing
Genevieve.
is now officially opened.
Perfect.
My apologies.
Okay, all right, so I'll just continue. The current use is vacant, but it previously contained Blue Ribbon Homes, which is a manufactured home dealership. The applicant is Flagland LLC, they're the current property owner. There's also concurrent concept zoning map amendment request, which I'll briefly discuss later on in this presentation. Project location, again, 7,000 North Highway 89. So it's on the east side of Highway 89, just north of the northern city boundary, right here. And this is the area in red is the annexation, and then that rezoning is right here, and talk about that later. So just a little bit more information about the development overview. So the entire site is actually the annexation parcel plus a parcel to the south, which the developer proposes to combine and then subdivide into 4 parcels with a subdivision plat. The first 2 parcels would be a detox and residential treatment center. That would be parcel 1. And the second is a sober living facility. And together, those would compose a 174-bed mental and behavioral health and substance abuse treatment campus. Parcels 3 and 4 would be commercial pads to be set aside for future use. And we can just see where those parcels are located there. So this is a concept plat that the applicant has already submitted. So this is a concept plan. It shows kind of the layout of the proposed development. It received a complete with conditions by staff in March of 2021. So it's not a formal approval, but it's basically it's just kind of the first step. The next step would be site plan approval. That would be formal approval that they would receive after annexation. And then keep going. So these are the proposed building elevations and materials. Again, these are conceptual, no sort of formal approval, but we get a sense of what the applicant is proposing and be approved at site plan. This would receive a natural resource protection overlay, so it would have commercial zoning, so the minimum requirement to preserve trees would be to preserve 30% of the trees and 70% or more of the steep slopes. This is the resource protection plan that was submitted with concept plan, and they're proposing to protect 63% of the trees and 100% of the steep slopes. So we'd be meeting those requirements. So just a timeline of where we've been in terms of citizen participation. So there was a neighborhood meeting in June. There's a lot of detail about that in the attached public participation report. This also went to P&Z in December. It was a unanimous vote for recommendation for approval with the conditions that were recommended by staff. Tonight we're here for a public hearing just to discuss this item per state law, just discussing it. The first read will be later on, right now scheduled for January 18th, the second read for February 1st. And no formal comments have been received from the public on this annexation. So I mentioned also there's a concurrent rezoning request. It's just a 1.09 acre section of the larger parcel to be annexed. The purpose is to allow a horse therapy facility, which would be an accessory use to the primary rehab campus. Horses are not allowed in the HC zone, which is why the applicant would be requesting a rural residential zoning. However, that first read of that rezoning ordinance is not till the January 18th agenda, so we'll discuss that in more detail and have the official public hearing there. Just want to give you a heads up in terms of how these cases work together. And obviously, it would be dependent on a successful annexation as well. prior to the approval of rezoning. And there's a little bit more information about what the horse therapy area would be. All right, so for annexation, there are 3 findings for approval. Whoops. The first one is that it complies with city code. The second is that it complies with state law. And the third is that it meets any applicable goals and policies in the regional plan. And that's the Flagstaff Regional Plan 2030. So the first, as part of compliance with city code, a public systems analysis was conducted. A traffic statement was received. It identified the need for 2 full access driveways and right turn lanes with bike lanes on Highway 89, as well as a 5-foot landscaped parkway and 6-foot sidewalk. A water sewer impact analysis was also completed, and it requires extending a 12-inch water line along Highway 89 in the front of the property and an 8-inch sewer line across the middle of the property. A stormwater analysis was also conducted. It requires a low-impact development basin in the southwest corner of the site. That's just to capture and meter out stormwater. The proposed development will not affect the local school district, and it would be served by Fire Station 3 and is within the desired response time for that fire station. So the second one is conformance with state law. So this state law has criteria for properties to annex, so they have to be considered contiguous in order to annex. This property does meet the state law definition of contiguous, which means it is eligible to annex. The state law also identifies processes and procedures for cities to annex. One of these is that annexed parcels must receive land use designations with densities or uses that are not greater than what was previously permitted in Coconino County just prior to annexation. So in this case, just comparing the Coconino County commercial heavy 10,000 zone to the highway commercial zone in the city, they both permit similar uses, the custodial care, this type of residential use, as well as the proposed commercial pads are currently shown as restaurants. So those are both permitted as well. Then they have very similar minimum lot sizes as well as width and depth. So just showing those are comparable zones from the county to the city. Finally, the annexation meets applicable regional plan goals and policies. So it is within the urban growth boundary. So that is this area right here. So that means it can receive city water and sewer without a regional plan amendment. It would bring property tax revenue to the city of Flagstaff upon annexation. If developed as currently proposed, it would bring a public health service to the city of Flagstaff in northern Arizona. And any development would have to provide road edge improvements, enhanced landscaping, dark sky compliant lighting, and architecture in compliance with city of Flagstaff standards. So staff recommendation, or well, first the findings. So council shall find that the annexation application meets the required findings for approval. So again, that's compliance with city code, state law, and the regional plan. And as such, staff recommends that the city council, in accordance with the required findings, approve the annexation request with the following condition: that the subject property shall enter into the city of Flagstaff corporate limits with highway commercial zoning and a resource protection overlay. But again, the purpose of this meeting is to discuss the annexation request only. Currently, the ordinance first read is scheduled for 2 weeks from today. So that is all that I have for my presentation, but I'm available to answer questions. Applicant is here as well, and I believe they have some information about their project as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation for us, or is it just here for answering questions we may have?
I believe they don't have a PowerPoint, but they wanted to talk about their project.
That'd be great. Well, we will go to them, and then we'll circle back to you for questions and comments from council.
Sounds good. Mike, Michelle, are you there? Okay, there's Mike.
This is Michelle. I believe Mike wanted to speak.
Mike, we can't hear you. Looks like you're muted. Okay,
Unmuted.
there you go.
Am I unmuted?
Yep,
Yes.
please proceed.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we're trying to do and the difference we're making in Arizona currently. I am the CEO of America's Rehab Campuses, and I have my Chief Operating Officer, Michelle Carrasco, on the phone with us as well, and also our engineers, if you have any questions regarding the engineering part of this thing. So my background has been in the Valley. I've been in the Valley for about 42 years. I'm in the real estate development business. about 2015. I had just coincidentally was asked to look at the Mesa Community Hospital for a drug and alcohol treatment center. I wasn't very familiar with what was going on in the heroin addiction and the drug space. And over a period of the last 6 years, I've got a master's degree in substance abuse. And what we found is we currently have a facility. We took a Ramada Inn Hotel in Tucson, Arizona, the northeast part of Tucson, Tanque Verde and Sabino Canyon area. And we turned it into a full continuum of treatment for mental health and substance abuse. We are primarily, what we found is there's a real shortage of Medicare and Medicaid facilities that have the level of care and treatment that we think should be provided. So we went ahead and we currently have contracts with 5 of the 7 insurance payers in the Arizona market. And as we come into Flagstaff, we'll get the 6th, and we're working on the 7th. So last year we treated a little over 3,600 patients in our program or clients. What we do is we came up with a very successful program we believe is working, and the reason we do know this is because United Healthcare has made us a platinum provider. Banner Health has got great accolades. We're Joint Commission. We carry all the accreditations, and we treat anyone from the ages of 18 to 80 years old. We treat pregnant moms that are addicted to drugs while they're carrying their child. We treat veterans. We treat the Border Patrol, the Fire Department, Police Department. We treat medical personnel. We treated basically just about everybody. The average age of our client or patient is between the ages of 32 and 40. We run about 60% male, 40% female. We work very closely with the DES to get families put back together. But what I realized in this business before I really understood the business was that we called around and we did research, and we checked out a little over about 100 plus rehab units, rehab facilities around the United States. There's only probably a half a dozen or a dozen that are like what we do. And what I mean by that is we found that many people will have a medical detox program, and then from there they're sent to another location for residential treatment or a house. And then from there they're sent to an outpatient clinic for a program, or they're put on a medication assisted treatment program. And the problem with that is the recidivism rate is 90+%. But what we found is that if we could combine all levels of treatment into one location where we could keep them for a period of 90+ days or 120 days, what it does is it allows them to acclimate toward having the same case managers, same therapists, same medical doctors, and they get accustomed, and they're not bounced around, and they're not, told to go set up an appointment with your therapist, and then, they miss the bus, the dog eats their homework, something happens, they relapse, they end up back in the hospital, in the emergency rooms, waiting to get into a medical detox facility, and it causes a whole bunch of turmoil. So what we do is we take them through our medical detox in Tucson, which is the same we'll have here in Flagstaff. We have another facility going in at the Metro Phoenix as well. But what we do is take them through a program. Currently, we have 46 beds of medical detox. We average about 25 a day all the time. They go through about 3.7 to 4 days of medical detoxification. We get them stabilized. We find out what their issues are, both in their health and their mental behavioral issues. We then set them up with a case manager and therapist. We move them. They have the option then at that point to request to go into our residential program. That's about a 28-day program. The residential in Tucson is currently about 160 beds, and we continually occupy about 90 beds there. The level of occupancy, or the amount of beds we're going to have in Flagstaff, we've learned is we're going to maintain about 32 beds of medical detox. We're going to maintain approximately 84 beds of residential. And we think that would be more than enough to always have a bed available for people. And then from there, once they've gone through a 28 or 30-day process there, and they're obligated to stay on the campus all the time. They don't have the ability to drive on or off or anything. They're committed to the program. Then they can opt to go into our clinically directed intensive outpatient program that is gives them a little more freedom. It's a 7-day-a-week program. They go into our sober living facility, which is typically an apartment style unit that has its own living quarters, its own kitchen, bathing quarters, bedrooms, etc., clubhouse. And they have an on-site manager and a staff that manages their daily schedules and gets them to their programs, which are anywhere from learning skills, training them to balance checkbooks, get their financial in order, help them with their credit report, send them to their programs with our equestrian program, which is a PTSD emotional program. We find that works really, really well. They're not out riding the horses in the forest and things. They're basically grooming the horses and getting comfortable around the horses. We'll be taking them probably up to the Grand Canyon on field trips or to Sedona, hiking and those kind of various different things. So the program, our current sober living program, has an average stay of about 73 days. We work very closely with the city on transportation issues. And I will tell you, we did a traffic study, which is available to you to review, but we don't have anybody that typically drives to the program. We require that they either be brought to the program or we transport them. We've got 7 Mercedes Sprinter vans that travel all over the state. We pick people up and we drop them off and we bring them back to their homes or wherever they're going after they're out of the program. So there's very, very little bus transportation or car transportation at all. And we prefer it that way. That way, we're obligated by law to have a discharge plan for them when they leave our program. And so it makes it easier for us to be able to maintain where they're going, what they're doing, et cetera. Now, they do have the ability to walk off the campus against medical advice. We do everything we try to do to hold them back. But if they walk off the property, that's something that we can't really control. But we don't have that many against medical advice discharges on a monthly basis. Currently, we're treating about 300 people a month on a regular basis. We've already treated 38 as of this month, and it's only the 4th, and that number could grow tonight. We're open 24/7, so there's not a day or a holiday that we're closed. There's always somebody available. We have security that's on the property to make sure that people don't wander off, et cetera, et cetera. They get 3 great meals a day. We increased the food budget. We give them supplements right now to help them with various things like COVID. Our Chief Operating Officer, Michelle, does a great job of managing our COVID and various different pandemic issues that we're dealing with right now. We've had a very big success in detoxing moms. They call it gestational detox, taking moms and delivering clean babies, as opposed to them having to bring someone in the world that's unfortunately addicted to fentanyl or heroin or whatever. So we're excited about it. This program's got a cabin theme to it, sort of a lodge theme. We think it will fit into the area great. We've worked very closely with the Indian tribes. We have a lot of people that come out of Flagstaff currently, and we transport them down to Tucson. But we're finding a lot of people that would like to stay a little closer, stay in northern Arizona. And we think that we can be a great asset to your community. We can take the pressure off the hospitals and the police department, the fire departments. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We've pretty much experienced just about everything in this industry at this point, but we're very excited about it. And our business is putting people back together, and there's nothing but a greater feeling than a mom calling you on Mother's Day saying, if it wasn't for you, my son wouldn't be here today. So we have a tremendous amount of passion and care and love for this thing. And we're in it. We're not in it for the money as much as we're in it to help people. Obviously, we have to make money in order to keep it going, but our goal is to as I came up with this saying when I first started this and didn't know anything about it, I want to deliver Nordstrom treatment with Walmart pricing. So we're currently in network with with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Cigna and TRICARE, the veterans, and several of the other United Healthcare and several of the other commercial policy holders as well. So, but our business runs about 90%, 92% Medicare, Medicaid, and 8% to 10% commercial. And I think the reason for that is because most of these people, when they get to the absolute bottom of the barrel and they're struggling, they don't have jobs. They don't have commercial insurance. The families have exhausted all their funds, and we take them from there and turn them around. So that's what we do. And I wish I had more pictures, but you got a glimpse of all the elevations. Paul Bustamante our architect. Guillermo Cortez and the SWI people are our engineers, and we're looking forward to becoming being something in the community that you guys will be proud of. So I'll take any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mike. Councilmember Shimoni, I believe you had your hand up a little bit ago.
I did. Thank you, Mayor. And Mike, thank you so much. I need to leave my camera off for bandwidth, but I just so appreciate your comments and your presentation and your efforts around our state and here in Flagstaff. This is a very needed service that I think Flagstaff and the greater Northern Arizona region is going to tremendously benefit from. You said, I think the average stay was 73 days. That's incredible if I understood you correctly, because our longest programs here in town, rehab programs, are I think 23 days. So that's significant. But can you just confirm that? Is that correct? That
yeah, well, let me just say, our average daily detox is a 4-day program, and then our residential is 30 days, so there's 34. And then the average current stay in our sober living intensive outpatient is 73 days. So we're almost 100 days. And the reason that we are is we found that people really, really enjoy the program. And one of the biggest successes that we've had is giving them what they're looking for. And we don't treat them like drug addicts. We don't treat them like alcoholics. We don't treat them like they got mental behavioral issues. We treat them like human beings. They get a queen bed. They get their laundry done twice a week. They get housekeeping services. The meals that they get every day are way above anything else in the industry. They get holidays with us. They get to do Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah and Halloween and 4th of July, and I mean, everything that they would be doing outside the program, we make it available for them in the program. And so a lot of these people, once they get to the point where they feel like they can make it, they stay. And so we think that 73-day average in Tucson is probably going to grow to about 80 or 90 days by the end of the year in 2022.
Wow, that's incredible. And you said that of the, I think, 32 rooms you mentioned that you're proposing in this project, folks could be dropped off or coming in at any hour of any day?
That's correct.
And then do you expect...
I'm sorry, Council. The medical detox is 32 beds. It's a separate building in itself. It's adjacent to the dining facility. Then from there, they go into our 84 bed up there, which is planned 84, 2 buildings of residential. And then from there, they go into the sober living, which is just directly to the south, which is another 60. I think we have it at 60 beds. Yeah, 60 beds. So there's 3 different quadrants of the campus. And that's why we love the fact that it's so big. You know, we wanted to save as much of the trees, and so we can really make it more of like a summer camp or a winter camp concept. You know, we think we're gonna find part of our market. We think is going to be the hunting and fishing market. There's a tremendous amount of those people that have alcohol issues and pain pill issues, and the more we can make it feel like they're still out in the lodge somewhere, the better off it's going to be. So
That's great. Mike, just a couple more questions from me. Do you know if there's any public transit that gets close to your location?
Genevieve, we've got the buses at the trails. Is it across the street from Trails End on Christmas Tree Road, right?
Yeah, it's about a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
On the other side of Highway 89.
Okay. And then, Mike, almost the last point I want to make. Yeah, in addition to those holidays, I definitely think we definitely need to have a indigenous focus here, especially around Navajo and Hopi and other tribal cultures. And I wonder if we can even integrate some of those healing practices into the design. Can you speak to that at all?
I'll let Michelle talk to you about that, but I will tell you that we have a lot of indigenous people that come into our program. And, we don't turn them away, and we think we're going to do some really interesting arts and crafts in Indian. We had an Indian program going on in Tucson, but Michelle, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, this is Michelle Carrasco. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and thank you for the questions. Yes, that's one of the reasons I wanted to work closer with you, Councilman Shimoni, is because of that. We do treat and we do serve a lot of IHS, Indian Health Service patients and or clients currently. One of our focuses is, yes, we want to build a program specific around that population in order to make them feel comfortable. It's very important to them. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I would like to start working closer with the indigenous people up there in regards to seeing what their needs are and seeing who they have. Because in order to present that program appropriately, it's important to have someone well-versed in those practices working for us also. So that's one of our biggest goals and one of the things that I have at the top of my priority list currently as far as that goes.
That's wonderful, Michelle. And you have my contact, so please do
Yes.
reach out.
I will be. Thank you.
And I was asked, Mike, just to bring up that rather than Indian, indigenous is more of a preferred title or name to
Sure.
use.
I understand.
Totally. Okay, and then lastly, just wanted to ask, I had a thought in this process, Mayor and Council, that maybe as part of the annexation, we should also consider a development agreement, just because, Mike, for whatever reason, if plans go south and we annex this, there's a nice parcel of land with a good zoning that will allow for a lot different of a project than what you're proposing. And I know that Ms. Peartree and Sterling have been part of this conversation. And Sterling, please do chime in if there's anything that you'd like to add to help clarify to the council and to Mike and his team what it is that I'm potentially proposing here. But I would like to see us put in some additional conditions through a DA as part of this annexation, not slowing down the process, and hopefully can be done in the next week or so. Genevieve or Sterling, did you have anything to add to that?
I'll defer to Genevieve on that.
I was about to defer to you. Yeah, Councilmember Shimoni, and please, Sterling, please jump in if I speak incorrectly. So if that's something that you want to do, staff can work with Mike and Michelle, as well as council and the city attorney's office to draft that. We would have to do that very quickly to keep the current schedule, so obviously that would be the goal. But the development agreement would tie this proposed site concept plan to this site. Otherwise, the annexation right now, as currently proposed, there's just one condition, and that's to come in with the highway commercial zoning and the resource protection overlay, because the concept plan is not a formal approval, and there is not a process in this case to de-annex if there was that condition that they develop this with the annexation agreement itself. We wouldn't have any recourse if they didn't do it. So that's where the DA comes in. Sterling, do you want to add on to anything, or is that good enough?
Thank you, Genevieve. I appreciate that. I want to mention also, I know Councilmember Shimoni, you mentioned done in the next week or so. I don't know that would be possible, but I also have had extensive conversations with Senior Assistant City Attorney Christina Rubalcava, who has also placed an item in the chat indicating that she has some input on it too, and I'll defer to her rather than play the middleman because she's been directly involved with Genevieve and CD on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina?
Thanks, Mayor and Council. I'm Christina Rubalcava, Senior Assistant City Attorney. Yeah, and I think Genevieve covered the issue well. It's just that this annexation, if it goes forward, will not have any conditions on it with respect to what can be built, unlike the typical annexations and rezonings that Council sees where it's tied specifically to a site plan or to a concept plan. And so if Council does want to condition it to ensure that the type of facility that's been described is in fact what is built, we would need to do a development agreement. I don't know that we'd be able to meet that time frame in order to not delay anything, I think. But I think we can try. And so it's going to depend a lot on the applicant and, you know, how quickly they can get an application for a development agreement submitted, and then we'll review. I think it would be a simple one. But I would recommend that we go ahead and keep the dates as we have them, and staff will just be in communication, and Sterling will also be in communication with the city manager's office, and we can just let you know. And if we need more time, we would just come to that January 18th meeting and seek a continuance of however much time we need.
That's great. Thank you, staff, for that commentary. Mike, I know this adds an additional layer to this process, and I apologize for that. But as a member of council, I do see a lot of value in a DA as part of this plan. And council, I'm curious to see if there's majority support for this. But that would mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Councilman Shimoni and Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council.
Yes, please.
My concern is this. I've been in this real estate since 1978. I've built over 4,900 units in the Valley. I've developed over 30,000 lots. I've been in the real estate business for a long, long time. And the concern I have, I've been through 3 recessions and a pandemic in my life. I'm 64 years old. My concern on a financial basis is this project's going to cost about $24 million to build. And what I don't want to do is get my hands tied to the fact that if we end up in another major downturn, that I can't develop the property because I have to build it to the specific site plan that we have. And that's a little scary for me, but I can appreciate your concerns about the fact that you don't want to go through this process and then lose this opportunity at the same time of the coin. We're not in this business to decide to buy this and sell this property off to anybody else. But it will make my financing early on much more difficult because of the fact that it's got a specific, it's like limited to, you can only build a gas station, you can't build a restaurant kind of thing. So I would really appreciate if we could avoid a development agreement and totally, that would be good. I don't think I'm required to have one regarding this, but we are team players and we want to work with the town. And if we didn't, it took us a long time to find the property that we felt would be great. We were out in Williams and we've been all over northern Arizona by the reservation, and we think this is a great asset to the community. But if we can sort of further discuss that a little more about what we could do, I just don't want I don't want it to affect my financial ability to finance the project and make sure it's a reality versus something that was just a great concept.
Thank you, Mike. Sterling, you want to jump in?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Mayor and Council, and Mike. I appreciate your comments as well. Just wanted to go back to what Councilmember Shimoni said right at the end. Obviously, it would take a majority of council tonight if council wanted to move in that direction toward a DA to direct staff to do that. So that's number one, procedurally speaking. Number two, the way that the public hearing was noticed, it was for today, the 4th, as well as the 1st and 2nd reads on the 18th and the 1st, 18th of January and 1st of February. When we get to the conclusion of our discussion here today, rather than close the public hearing, Mayor, if you could just continue that to the 18th, that procedurally speaking is what would be best.
Right, thank you, Sterling. Councilmember McCarthy?
A couple things. Mike, what is the name of your company?
It's America's Rehab Campuses, and the Tucson campus, the parent is America's Rehab Campus. The company that operates in Tucson is Arizona Rehab Campus, And the one up here will be the Flagstaff Rehab Campus, and the one is in Phoenix is the Phoenix Rehab Campus. And we do that for liability purposes and the fact that if something happens, we don't want all the campuses to close down because we've ran into a problem where somebody's, unfortunately we've had a catastrophe or something. God willing, we've never had one in the 5 years we've been doing this, but that's why we do it that way. But the parent is America's Rehab Campus.
Okay, I would like to talk to the idea of requiring a DA. And it would seem that the only reason that we would want a DA is if we were scared that if we annexed this and gave it the zoning that we're talking about, that somebody might build something there that we don't want. And I guess I really don't have that fear. So I would like to hear what the other council members think about that. Maybe that is a good idea, but I haven't been convinced yet, but I will be open-minded about it. So I'm a no vote now, but let's have a discussion, and then I may change my mind.
Thank you, Councilmember McCarthy. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm not used to this mask that sticks out like a duck's bill. Is there anything short of a DA that would get at Councilmember Shimoni's concerns?
I believe no. Christina, do you want to confirm that?
And I'm sorry, Genevieve, with respect to which concerns?
Vice Mayor, would you mind repeating your question?
Is there anything short of a DA that would address Councilmember Shimoni's concerns?
Not that I am aware of, just because there isn't a process. Usually what we would do is we would have, like in a rezoning, we would just have a condition of a rezoning be, it can only be for the type of facility described and not for something else. We don't have that ability here because the annexation process does not allow for us to de-annex to the county. And so unlike a rezoning where if you don't meet the conditions, we could just revert your rezoning, we don't have that here. And so a development agreement really is going to be your best option if you'd like to add conditions.
Thank you. And highway commercial, that could be any number of gas station, some sort of retail. It could be apartments, correct?
Yeah, there are quite a bit of uses that are permitted in the highway commercial zone, services, retail, as well as housing under certain circumstances, and as well as the proposed use in this project.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to hear from others. All right, I'll jump in then. I also have some concerns alongside Councilmember Shimoni because of what breadth highway commercial allows for on that area. But I also don't want to dictate too heavily what's going to be placed there. We want to ensure that it doesn't affect your financing and that it would be an easier lift on our part. Is there something very broad we could put in there that would help to just put a couple guardrails and things in case things go south? Or is it going to be a very large stack of a development agreement, expectedly?
My understanding, and again, Christina, jump in, is that it would be a relatively simple development agreement, but it would be very hard to meet the current timeline we have for the scheduled hearings. But if council directs staff to do that, that's what we'll do.
Thank you. And I will say, I really appreciate what you all are doing, and it does seem that your organization really is fulfilling that mantra that the opposite of addiction is connection. It's not sobriety. And providing that long-term care, I think, would be an amazing asset to this community and desperately needed. I would prefer to have some level of DA personally on this, but again, happy to hear from other council members.
Could I make another comment, council?
If I might, Mike, just real quickly, this is City Attorney Sterling Solomon. Mr. Mayor, if I might, I misspoke with respect to the annexation statute. The public hearing is held and closed all in the same day. The first reads were posted as required by the statute for the 18th and the 1st. Those readings could be postponed, but the public hearing ends today. I needed to make sure that was clear.
Okay.
And that public hearing, by the way, still needs to occur when we complete the discussion between you, the council, Ms. Pear3. We need to make a call to the public for comments. Sorry, Mike.
Okay, that's okay, I'm sorry. Is it okay if I make a couple more comments?
Yes, please do. If you could just be brief, I want to hear from other council members, their thoughts too. to
Okay,
see if
well,
there was majority.
I can hold my comment, I'll wait.
No, please go ahead, and then it helps us to have an informed discussion.
There's a couple other variables here. This is a very high barrier to entry kind of approach to the treatment center business. A lot of people will just buy a house and put 6 people in it, or buy a apartment building and put 10 people in it, or whatever. They got multiple uses. The concerns that we have and our financing people we've talked to several times is, if for some reason Medicaid or Medicare decides to change their funding ratios and decides to drop their rates by 50% or whatever may happen, which doesn't do any good for the unfortunate people that are struggling and need the help, it makes the project basically unbuildable for us. And at that point, we've already bought the property. We're now sitting with the property. We could maybe set something up that we got to come back in with another site plan approval or something. But overall, I'm just concerned of limiting myself. But I'm hoping, I'd love to, during the time, spend some time and discuss the concerns. That it doesn't. Our goal at this point, I mean, we made the commitment. We bought the property already. So even without any of these approvals, and I do believe, based on my current zoning, I do have the ability. This is a use that we're entitled to use, and we don't have any intentions to build anything else at this point. But I can't speak for financing people that want to come in and say, well, what happens if you don't do this? What do we do with the property if we take it back or whatever? And again, we at this point, that's not even on our radar screen. Our goal is to get this thing up and operating as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mike. Councilmember McCarthy.
So a question for staff. If this rezoning and annexation didn't happen, then the person that owns this land could do essentially the same as highway commercial. The only difference is it'd be in the county.
That's correct.
All right. Others' thoughts? Make sure I got my teams up here. Councilmember Shimoni.
Thank you, Mayor. And I think Christina might have a comment too. Maybe I'll let her go first if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to respond to the questions about in terms of what kind of a delay are we talking about. And I think that's really depends upon the applicant and the ability of the applicant to work with us. Our typical process is that the applicant, often through council, but not always, will provide us a draft of the development agreement, and then we review it and we negotiate it. And I think if that's something the applicant can do quickly, and we of course have drafts to provide of other agreements we've used in the past, and it is a very simple development agreement, I don't anticipate any delay on our end. I wouldn't want to make any commitments because we're only part of the process. The development agreement would not be considered by council until the second read, and so there's always an option for council to go ahead, keep that first read if we're working and making good progress on the 18th, and then, if needed, we could postpone the second read.
Okay, thank you for that. And I'll just add my comments, Mayor, really quickly. Mike, I can appreciate your concerns, and I'd hate to put you all in financial jeopardy with this project. I really, really appreciate this project and your company's intent. Long-term treatment is something we need in this region desperately. And so I really am excited to champion what you all are doing in our community. And I just think that, with a DA, if we were able to, let's say, figure that out and work on one together before the second read, which gives us some time, and let's just say years later, things change, your company, unfortunately, in Flagstaff Rehab goes belly up, you come back to council for an amendment to the DA. It's not the end of the world. It's something we can do, but it does gives the council and the community a little bit more of a check and balance with this highway commercial property within city limits, which, as council members have spoken to and Vice Mayor mentioned, has a lot of flexibility. And Mayor, you commented to that too. Mike, is that something realistic that we can work on?
Like I said, we're team players. I would love to spend some time with you and make sure that we don't get our hands so tied I can't build it. Because it's our goal to build it as well. It's not our goal to not be in the community and do what we're doing. I don't know of any other facilities like we have in Arizona that are Medicare, Medicaid equivalent to what America's Rehab Campus is doing. So I'm happy to do that. If we've got time, let's discuss it. We'll be happy to come up there and meet with you, and in the next week or so, or whatever we got to do, 2 weeks, and let's figure out what we have to do.
Mike, let's do it. Obviously, I don't want to speak on behalf of council without hearing from a majority giving me the thumbs up, but given that we have a few weeks to kind of figure this out and bring this forward to council before the second read, Christina, I'd be happy to sit down with you and our team and Mike and your team virtually as of tomorrow. We can meet as soon as you like. And honestly, I'd rather meet virtually regardless because of COVID right now. But yeah, let's do it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilmember Shimoni. Right now, I'm only hearing two to direct staff to pursue a DA. So let's see where we're at there before, setting up meetings to discuss a DA. So I'd like input if there is any for anyone else who might be in support of pursuing a broad DA in this circumstance.
Mayor Deasy, can I interject really quickly just to mention the findings?
Yes, thank you.
So I mentioned previously that there are 3 findings for approval for annexation. The first is it complies with city code. The second is that it complies with state law. And the third, that it meets relevant goals and policies in the regional plan. So staff's review of this is that it meets the findings as a rehab campus as currently proposed or as a highway commercial piece of land. So just some background for you there as well.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. If this remained in the county, would they be on a septic system with a well?
I'll let the engineer answer that. I don't know, but they don't be very unlikely to be on city water or sewer without some sort of pre-annexation agreement. Stephen or Guillermo from SWI?
Hello, this is Guillermo Cortez with SWI Engineering, 110 West Dale. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Okay. That would be the case. We would either have to look at, there's an existing well on site for water. We would have to get that going, and we would have to look at an alternate method for wastewater. So it definitely makes sense for the annexation. If I can make an argument for the annexation on Mike's behalf, is we have been at this for actually almost close to 2 years. I think we've dotted every I a couple times and crossed every T a few times. And it's important to note that this can be developed in the county with that equal CH 10,000. It is highway commercial. It brings that tax benefit, some good paying jobs. So Councilmember Shimoni, definitely understand your concerns, but I think we've been working on this for over 18 months and looking forward to getting a great community benefit such as this into our community. So.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, any follow-up questions? All right. Well, just make sure we don't have anything in the chat box. So I'm still only hearing 2 in favor of a DA. So unless otherwise noted, we will proceed without a DA and on the current timeline and move forward as presented. And that's what I'm seeing from other nodding heads in this, so there is not a majority to pursue a DA. And with that, is there any other comments, questions regarding this before we, move forward? What's that? Oh, do we have any public participation at this time?
No, Mayor, we do not.
All right. Thank you. Public hearings are a little procedural.
And then you would just need to close.
Yeah,
the
then
public
I'll
hearing
close
and-
the public hearing if there's no other input, and we will move forward with the timeline.
Mayor, it
Oh,
looks like
Well,
Councilmember
Mayor,
Aslan
I
has
had my
his
hand
hand
up.
raised.
Oh, I'm not seeing your hands raised in here. I'm sorry.
I just unraised it, so that it didn't stay up accidentally. Yeah, thanks. I just want to weigh in. I don't see the need to overcomplicate this, at this stage. I really appreciate the scrutiny, Councilmember Shimoni. But I guess my voice is with the majority at this time to just proceed. Very excited about this project. Very excited to get some long-term care set up here. And I really liked the way it was couched and talked about in terms of the population served. Thank you for all the great work you're doing around the state. And it seems like this is a community. So I just wanted to add those comments to the record here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Aslan. All right, well, the public meeting, just to say it for a second time, closed. We're good on that front. We'll pick it up on January 18th for the first read. So thank you for joining us, Mike and Michelle, I believe it was. And thank you, Ms. Peartree and the team who's seeing this through. So